The Michael Berry Show.
I suppose this is irony or the sort of nonsense that we have tolerated for too long in this country that needs to come to an end. And that means some Republicans are going to have to be booted out of office. And it means people like Greg Abbott is going to actually have to do something. Yesterday, the State House approved ivermectin over the counter. You know that horse paste? You don't want to take that if you have COVID. It's horse paste. Remember? Do you know how many lives were saved because of it? And that happened in the same week that Mary Talley Bowden is being punished by the Texas Medical Association for prescribing ivermectin, because they don't want you prescribing ivermectin because the pharmaceutical companies don't get paid for that, just like with hydroxychloroquine. Mary Talley Bowden joins us for a brief update on this case. She was our guest a few days ago. How did you react when you get the news that ivermectin over the counter has gone over the counter?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. A little stunned. I didn't think it would ever happen in Texas after everything that drug has put me through. And
how does it work? How does it work, and why does it work?
Well, it has 20 mechanisms of action, but the key thing with COVID, and actually this is true with any RNA virus, it blocks the virus from entering the nucleus of the cell. It also inhibits an enzyme that the virus needs to replicate. So it has broader applications than just COVID. It's truly an amazing drug, and it has a lot of anti-inflammatory actions as well.
We call those off-label applications.
Right.
She hates when I talk medicine. Makes her crazy. So do you know why it was originally used for horses? If you don't, it's okay. I'm kind of curious how that started.
I don't know exactly why. I mean, because parasites, but I don't know that it was original. I think it came in combination. I don't know that it was first used on animals, from what I understand, but I could be wrong.
So let me understand who.
I mean, it was
who would be a person that might use over-the-counter ivermectin? Is this someone that is already sick, and if so, with what? Or is this a prophylactic approach to overall good health and warding off viruses?
Well, honestly, it's the best thing we have for the common cold at this point. So I see it being used in that facility. As people are starting to use it for cancer. It's not something that I am treating with because I just don't do a lot of cancer in my practice. But I do see a lot of people getting ivermectin from the feed store or Mexico or India to take for cancer. And we're hearing, I'm seeing benefits with the vaccine injured. I had a patient the other day who I've been trying to help for 4 years now. I mean, just really severe symptoms. And we finally had a breakthrough by going on a much higher dose of ivermectin than I would have normally given him. And he finally got relief. So I see the vaccine injured daily in my office. So we still have a lot of work to do. Ivermectin, this is a big win, but we really need to get these mRNA shots pulled off the market.
Agreed, and they're continuing to jab. Let's talk about, you put something up the other day, your suggestion to people to find out if they have spike proteins, and I think you said they could go to LabQuest or wherever else and get a basic test done. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so it's LabCorp, and I would not go to Quest because the cutoff at Quest is much lower. But at LabCorp, you can test your spike protein antibody level. And we don't have a way to directly measure spike protein. And the theory is, in the people that got the shots, that the body is continuing to produce spike protein, and that's why they continue to have these symptoms. So the next best thing to measuring the spike protein itself is to measure the body's response to that, which is a spike protein antibody level. And what I am finding in the patients that got the shots, and these are people, for the most part in my practice, I'm seeing people that got 2, maybe 3 shots total. But years following these shots, their spike protein antibody levels are sky high. Like when I compared those that got the shots to those that didn't get the shots, the spike protein antibody level is 10 times higher than the people that got the shots than the people that didn't. And in many cases, I looked at it, 7%. The level was so high that it could not be measured by the test, so over 25,000, which is not normal when you've gotten the shot so long ago and you haven't had a recent infection. It's a very stark difference in what we're seeing, and it deserves further research.
Do you think that people are dying today, currently, from side effects of the COVID shot that they took in, say, spring of 21, 4.5 years later?
Unfortunately, yes. You look at all-cause mortality data, it continues to rise. Disability data continues to rise. Unfortunately, the government won't give us up-to-date cancer data. They're giving us projections based on old data, but they're not giving us the most recent data. But from what I'm hearing, amongst friends of mine at MD Anderson, is that it's alarming. The cancer in the young people, advanced stage cancer presenting in young people, is something more than they've ever seen.
All right, I've got about a minute. I want to pin you down on this. What exactly is the state of your practice? I know they've been trying to finish you off. You are currently practicing. Are you able to continue practicing?
I moved my office to the west side of town, Spring Branch area. I've signed a lease for 3 years, so I'll go for at least that long until they can't let me. I don't think they're going to take my license away. And this fight is probably going to take years. I mean, I have to appeal to the state district court, and then from there, I may have to appeal to the Texas Supreme Court. And it's already been 4 years, having made it to that point. So hopefully, I can at least ride out the 3-year lease.
You and I spoke by email before you were on recently, and I was under the impression you were some time ago, no longer accepting new patients as you dealt with all this. Then a number of people flooded me with emails wanting to get in. Are you accepting new patients, and how do people go about that? I will say on your behalf, so you don't have to, I know that you became a little frustrated that you wanted to practice medicine and not have political rallies, and a lot of people began reaching out wanting to talk politics and medical politics and all of that when you wanted to be a practicing physician. So you want to weed that out. I get it. You want people who need your medical care. But I've got 30 seconds. How do people who want to come and see you see you?
Best way is to call or email our office, front desk at breathemd.org or 713-492-2340. I do not accept new patients online anymore.
And that had something to do with that?
Yes.
You take the longest to answer after I ask a question of any guest I've ever had. Mary Talley Bowden, thank you for being our guest.